beautiful morning we've been having. Good morning. Welcome to the Ontario Honey Creations. We are in MULMUR, Ontario, which is about an hour and a half from Hamilton. It's in Dufferin County, and we are getting quite the experience. What I'm pointing to right now, that is the Queen Bee. And behind Ontario Honey Creations, the husband-wife duo, we have Peter, we have Sarah. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
Awesome. This is so cool. This is an experience that people can have when they come here.
Absolutely. They can pre-book online and come out and get immersed in the bees, wear the bee suits, handle the smoker, and see all the inner workings of the hive.
Peter, take us through the queen bee. I think she's on the other side.
Yeah,
she's always moving around.
Oh, she's right.
Right there. What is the? How would you describe the queen bee? Let's say in our lives, like a CEO, the boss.
That's what people kind of perceive as the queen, but she's just the egg machine for the hive. She releases some pheromones to tell the hive how they're doing. The bees kind of control her where to lay, and they decide when they want to swarm off. So they all work together. The queen has a very important role because there's only one of her in the hive, but she's not necessarily the boss. No one's the boss in the beehive.
Nobody's the boss. It's a democracy.
The consensus democracy.
Consensus. Everybody has to agree on everything.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Are they making honey here right now? What's going on here?
We're in the brood nest. So this is actually full of eggs and larvae. So this is where the queen is laying all the new bees. So in the summer, the worker bees, all these females here, they only live up to 4 to 5 weeks. So the queen has to replace them really frequently. So she lays about 1,500 eggs a day, which is about half of one side of a frame. So it takes about 4 days to do one frame.
So this is on the bottom because it's dark, and that's where the queen likes to be.
Yes.
And then
we're going to pull off some honey. So this is the brood nest. We'll put it back together really quickly.
Because how many bees would be here, Sarah? Like how many bees do you have?
Yeah, typically in a hive you'll have around 60,000 bees in the peak of summer. So this one would be around that amount. And then in the winter they overwinter at around 20,000 bees. Yeah.
We didn't even mention our fancy outfits.
I know.
How good do we look, right? Okay, so this is where, so take us through this, Peter. What are we seeing
So
here?
this is where the bees are collecting nectar. They drop it in the cells made from beeswax. So they collect the nectar. It's around 80% moisture. They reduce it down to 20% moisture, put an enzyme in it, create honey, and then they cap it with wax. And that's when you know it's ready.
Why are bees so important, Sarah?
They provide all the pollination of the flowers around in our environment. All the various pollinators help plants to produce seeds. And they also, as a side benefit here, produce copious amounts of honey too.
This is so neat. And this is something that you can experience for yourself, Ontario Honey Creations. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll take these fancy looking suits off. And we'll head in and we'll explore the whole process and a bit of your guys' story, because it's so neat. You guys left the corporate world and kind of followed your passion and are beekeepers and selling some delicious honey, and we'll show that, and some beeswax, and we can't forget the pigs. Oh yes, there's pigs, cute little piggies. When we come back on Morning Live. Good morning. Welcome back to Ontario Honey Creations in MULMUR, which is about an hour and a half from Hamilton. Beautiful drive to get here. And in our first segment, we saw all the bees doing the hard work in the apiary. Now we're seeing Peter and Sarah do some work. I guess Peter's doing the work, but I know you do a lot of work here, right? Peter, Sarah, husband-wife duo that have opened Ontario Honey Creations. How many years ago now?
10 years. 10 years ago. Yeah, exactly. We've been doing this. We kind of transitioned from our corporate lives to now full-time beekeeping, and absolutely loving every moment of it.
Right. So when you first met Peter, he was a beekeeper?
Yes, he was a hobby beekeeper with his family, and we took that next level. So we started originally with just 2 hives. Now we operate around 600.
Amazing. What are you doing here, Pete?
So we're just uncapping the honey. So the bees collect all the nectar, make honey, put it in the cells, and then once it's officially honey, they put a coat of wax on it, and we take that off so we could spin it out in the extractor.
And we want to not throw away the wax. The wax is important?
Right. So with the wax, we then repurpose it and turn it into beeswax candles.
Rather than just tossing it out.
Exactly.
Okay. So we go over to the extractor. That's what it's called?
Yeah. So this is a 4-frame extractor, and we just put the honey in here and spin it.
So now every frame, is there different amounts of honey in there?
Yes, there's an assortment of different types of honey. And this one here, this would be all our spring nectar sources. And the honey frames that we're spinning out right now, we're trying to balance. So they're fairly evenly weight, probably around 2 to 3 pounds.
It's so cool to be able to see this. And this is kind of a new thing. It's called agritourism, where you get to kind of see the behind the scenes how things are arriving on your table.
Absolutely. So here you can extract the honey, bottle it, and actually see where your food is coming from and take that jar of honey home and enjoy it.
Okay, so we got the honey in the bottom of there. We're going to the next step, which is where?
It's just in our honey bottling room here. So what we're going to do is we're going to bottle the filtered honey. So all the beeswax has already been filtered.
Is all honey the same honey?
No.
Okay.
So the honey will change depending on the different nectar sources and different flowers, and you're going to experience a different taste from that as well.
What kind are we getting here?
So today we're going to be bottling our spring blossom honey. So in here you'll see it all gently kind of flow out. This has an assortment of different nectar sources from the springtime, everything in bloom from April to the end of July now.
So it will taste different.
It absolutely tends to be a more mild taste in comparison to the later seasonal harvests.
How would it be different than, let's say, honey that you would be getting in the grocery store, Pete? Like, what is the difference?
The difference here is that we extract in small batches, and it's not blended with other bee yards or other locations geographically. So you get better flavors in it. So you get the peaks of different flavors instead of blending it and giving it a general taste.
Okay. That's it right there.
This is it. This is the finished product.
Amazing, which is you can come to Ontario Honey Creations and experience how they do this and then take some of this home with you. Also, we talked about the beeswax.
Yes.
Let us get into the beeswax. And I don't know, there's a rumor there's some other beings kicking around here.
There's some adorable cooney pigs.
Okay.
There are resident little piglets that we have on site.
That's a little tease for you. We got all that coming up. Ontario Honey Creations in MULMUR on Morning Live. Well, it has been a pretty sweet morning here at Ontario Honey Creations in MULMUR. We saw the beeswax in our last segment. Now we're having some artistic fun with the beeswax. We're back with the husband-wife duo of Peter and Sarah because we said the importance of the beeswax and what you can do with the beeswax.
Absolutely.
Because the beeswax is the layer on top of the honey.
Yes, so those are cappings beeswax, and we don't waste any of that in the harvesting process. So what we do, we'll take that, we'll squeeze out the remaining honey and melt down the wax itself to turn into an assortment of different candles.
I got some on my spoon here. What would this taste like?
It'll taste delicious
Even though there's a little bit of wax in there?
with the wax. You can eat the wax, spit out the
You
wax
can,
again.
the wax is fine.
Yeah.
Nature's bubble gum. There you go.
Oh, you can chew away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything better than actually taking it out of the frame?
No, it's amazing. It's perfect, just as nature made it.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
tasty. Okay, so what are we doing with the wax?
So what we're doing with the wax, we're going to take the hot wax. We already have it melted in here. I'm just going to scoop up some here. And this is what we then pour into the candle molds. So originally this would have been what we scraped off at the previous harvest. We then just simply pour it into the molds here. So this one's a cute little rose mold that we fill up, and nothing goes to waste.
Is there
here.
any, because you can do so much with beeswax.
Yes.
And why is beeswax good for you?
Well, there's no additives. It's all natural. Has some air purifying emissions that they can help with as well, and it just smells amazing.
Yeah.
So it smells like the hive. Like
How long would that need to sit in there for?
it would take about an hour and a half to cool.
Okay.
Beeswax takes a lot longer to cool than other wax.
So this, again, is all part of, people can come here for this kind of agritourism behind the scenes of what you guys are doing
Absolutely.
and be filling these up.
Absolutely.
And having all that fun. If you want to fill those
Yeah,
two up.
absolutely.
Because our main man, Pete, you've been, not only are you a beekeeper, but you're a brewer and winemaker now too. Is that the thing?
Yeah, so with our bees, we started making wine with the honey. So now we have a variety of wines,
Okay.
of still wines, and we're also working on making a hard honey seltzer.
So it's mead, right? When you're using honey. And like mead is like the original alcohol. It goes back like centuries and centuries.
Yeah, so mead is the first alcohol before grape wines. The term honeymoon actually comes from drinking mead for one lunar cycle after you get married.
Did you just make that up?
Nope, I don't think so.
All right, Google that, folks at home. Let's see if he's telling the truth or not. But so what do you have? What do you have here for mead? So this is a mead right here, Sarah.
Yes, so this here that we have in the cup, that's our dry mead. It's actually bone dry, meaning that all the residual sugars have been eaten up during
Because I think
fermentation.
mead, I think really sweet.
It isn't. This guy is dry. It's surprising.
Okay, let me-
It's my favorite. I'm very biased, but
It is very dry. That's very like very thirst quenching for like a summer drink.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, and then and Pete, what do you got?
Our next product coming out in a few weeks is
This is an exclusive? Nobody's even seen this?
no, not
Oh
yet.
my goodness.
No labels yet even. A hard honey seltzer. So this is our dry mead, brought down to 5% alcohol.
Can we put this up here so we can see it pour? Yeah, it's poured in there.
with some hops in it. So it's a nice light drink to have on a hot summer day or in a cool fall.
Peter wanted me to try it off camera in case I didn't like it, that I didn't spit it out. Here comes the true test. It's delicious.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like seltzers is all the rage.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and that's made with hops.
Very yummy.
Yeah.
Okay, and so people can come to the store, and all of this stuff is available in the store.
Absolutely.
They can come and get the behind-the-scenes experience.
Yes.
And then they get to experience the...
They get to experience our little pigs as
Okay.
well.
Do we get to experience the pigs?
You sure do.
We'll do that when we come back to Ontario Honey Creations in MULMUR on Morning Live. Cheers. Well, cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Oh, I did drink out of that,
That's
but
okay.
we
We'll
can
just
cheers.
pretend.
Yeah. So we've had a pretty amazing morning with Ontario Honey Creations. And listen, the bees are the star of the show, but there are some other individuals who want to get on the marquee.
Absolutely.
And that's the piggies, and some very rare piggies. Back here with Sarah, and Peter's around here somewhere.
He's fetching more leaves.
Oh, he's fetching more
Yes.
leaves for us. Okay, Sarah, who are these guys?
So these are our resident Cooney pigs. So this guy here, this is Spot.
Hi, Spots.
We have Charlie, Miss Emma. She's very pregnant, so she's going to have babies this week. And the baby daddy, Mr. Jason.
You stud, Jason. Way to go, buddy. Coonies.
Yes.
How are they different than pigs that we would know?
So they're a rare breed from New Zealand. They are actually their name Cooney is a Maori native Maori word, and that one there it literally translates to fat and round. So they are a fat and round breed of pig, very docile. They're absolutely sweet. These guys will actually drop for belly rubs if they're not eating.
Oh, if they're not eating,
We'll
right.
see
They're
if they
kind of
actually
consumed
do it.
with the eating part right now.
But they love their fresh leaves from the forest. They actually helped us a lot here on the farm in kind of weeding out some of the more invasive plant species. So like goutweed, they
So they have a big whole area?
yeah, they have a whole fenced-in area here where they helped get rid of the goutweed and poison ivy as well, because pigs can eat that without having a reaction.
Okay.
And they helped manage our forest.
Okay, these guys are cute, but we can up the cuteness factor even a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Peter, you want to open the gate for us, Peter?
Yes.
Okay, let's up the cuteness factor, because I know Mama is pregnant.
Yes.
When is she gonna have the little piglets?
She's gonna have her piglets within the week, and
Within
then
the week?
yeah, and then this is her sister, Christine. So Christine, she recently had babies, as you can see. These little chunkers are Cooney piglets. So we have Leo the leopard, we have Mr. George, and this is Ruby.
Can I pick them up?
I wouldn't pick them up just because they'll squeal and Mommy will get kind of mad.
Mommy will get mad. I don't want to get Mommy mad.
Yeah, but they like belly rubs as well. Like
Do they?
you'll see, they'll kind of stretch out like a cat, and then they'll roll over eventually. Yeah.
Oh, there you
go.
Got it. How old are these guys?
They're 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So she just had the 3. It's a
Okay.
fairly small litter, but she's
again,
a great mom.
This is an experience that you and Peter put on. Right?
Absolutely.
And it's something that you kind of have to book ahead.
Yes, so people can go online on our website and pre-book a spot that works for them. They can come out and meet our bees, meet the pigs, and even cuddle some piglets while they're here too.
What a crazy
Yeah.
experience. Very, very cool. And it seems like you guys have got a pretty good thing going here.
Yeah, we love it.
Right?
Yeah.
Ontario Honey Creations with Cooney Pigs. Oh, we need the money shot. What's this guy's name?
That's George.
Hey, George, give us the money shot. I'm just going to lift you up here. George. Oh, no. No, George is not into it. George is not into it. Oh, he's chewing on Luke's shoe.
What are you doing? Hey? They love shoes.